So first foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and the highest honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect. This is the brother Arakia, and in this lesson, I want to touch on the different statues of marriage, okay? Because back in the day, we used to have wives, we used to have concubines, because there are certain camps saying that we cannot deal with women of the other nations, for example, Edomite women or Moabite women, Ammonite women, but that's some bullcrap, okay? Because they can be your concubines, okay? And then the Israelite women, they are gonna be your wives, okay? I'm gonna have a certain few examples in this lesson right here to show that there are, different statues of marriage, showing you that we can deal with women of the other nations. Okay, the only exception was with the Canaanite woman. Okay, so that I'm gonna have to double check if that is still in place, or if it was only during for the times past, when our people came out of Egypt, man. Okay, so let me read this right here, 1 Kings 11 and 1 on down. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites. Okay, so he had Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, okay, so-called Chinese, so-called Japanese, so-called white woman. Okay, so according to ISUPK, he had the mark of the beast, which is complete madness. Okay, he had Zidonians and Hittites, which are so-called East Africans, man. Of the nations concerning which the Lord Yahweh said unto the children of Israel, Ye shall not go in unto them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. So this is targeted concerning the Hamite woman, okay, or the Canaanite woman, okay, the East African woman. And he had 7, because we can have women of the other nations, it's not a problem, man. And there's actually in the law that they are parts of the spoils of war. When you go into war with these other nations, you can leave the woman, if their men have passed, they become widows. Then according to the law, they can mourn for their family for a certain period of time. I'm not going to go into it. It's a certain period of time. They have to shave their head, and after that period of time is over, you can deal with them. Okay, and it's not adultery because they're of another nation and their men was killed in the war. Okay, and likewise, if there was young women, you can let them, according to the law, grow to be of age, and then you can deal with them. Okay. And back in the days, that age was the menstrual cycle. Now, of course, in today's world, we cannot deal with so-called underage women, but that's how it was in the back in the day, and that's according to the Bible, verse 3. And he had 700 wives, princesses. Okay, so these were Israelites. Okay, his wives, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. Okay, which the word wife just means woman. So his woman turned away his heart, man. Okay, for it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord Yahweh his power, as was the heart of David his father. Okay, for Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. So he started to deal with the gods of his concubines. Okay, but just highlighting into verse 3, it says that he had 700 wives, princesses, okay, and 300 concubines. They were in a different class, man, okay, and the wives were over the concubines, okay, in rank, okay. And I'm gonna show an example of that in the book of Genesis, okay. Let me find it real quick, because it's concerning Sarah and Hagar, who bear Ishmael. But let me see if I can find the... let me see, maybe at that point it was Sarah, her name. Yeah, it was Sarai, yeah, Salakia, Sarai. Yeah, this is it. Genesis 16:1. Now Sarai, okay, whose name turned to Sarah, Abraham's wife, which, if I'm not mistaken, it means princess. Let me actually go and look that up. Which I'm almost positive it means, because Shar is a prince, so Shara, it has to be a princess, which that's a wife, okay. And then the concubines, those are your, you know, those are your own harlots, man. You know. So Shara, it says here noble woman, but no, that's BLB going off, man. But in a way, you know, princess is a noble woman, you know, in a way, because of the nobility of his husband, okay. And yeah, in the kingdom, you know, even the Israelite women, you know, they're gonna be, you know, in a good level compared to the other nations, man. And they also gonna have, you know, a you know, super bodies, and they're gonna have eternal life. So that's nobility, you know. Genesis 16:1. Now Sarai, Abraham's wife, at the point his name was Abram, okay, which means Abaram, exalted father, but then his name got changed to Abraham, Abraham, which is a father of a multitude, okay. Because out of Abraham came a multitude of people, man. The Israelites, the Ishmaelites, that's a whole lot of people, bro. The Edomites, okay, because it's Abraham, Isaac, and Esau, okay. So that's a whole lot of people, man. Now Sarah, Abraham's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said unto Abram, Behold now, Yahweh has restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. So you see, hey, Sarah was like, hey, deal with my maid. So she's gonna be like a concubine unto you, and you can, you know, do your thing with her. And the children that she's gonna get is gonna be for me also. You know, that's what Sarah was up to. How many of the modern day women are willing to do that, man? You see verse 3, and Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after which she was a so-called East African, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife, a woman, okay, which she, Hagar, she became a concubine. She became a concubine unto Abraham, okay. And then there's also an example with the handmaids of Leah and Rachel, who bear sons unto Jacob. Okay. So let me just read some verses here and there. This is Genesis 29 and 24. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah, his maid, for an handmaid, okay? Which became a concubine of Jacob, you know, that Zilpah. And she also bare of the sons of Israel, you know. You see, let me go to Genesis 30 and 9. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, so she couldn't have any more children, she didn't have any more children, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife, to woman, to be a woman. So Jacob had 4 women, okay? He had Leah and Rachel, and then Zilpah, and Bilhah, okay? Let me actually read from the top, man. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister, because at that point Leah was already having children, and said unto Jacob, give me children, or else I die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, am I in Yahweh's stead, who has withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. So you see, Jacob had a woman also named Bilhah, but she was not in the same status as Rachel and Leah. Okay, and the same gonna be with us in the kingdom. We're gonna have our wives, which are Israelites, and then and then we're gonna have our handmaids, our concubines, which are women of other nations. So you see, this how it goes, man. And she gave him Bilhah her handmaid to wife, and Jacob went in unto her. And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, the Most High has judged me, and has also heard my voice, and has given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan. Okay, which used to be one of the tribes of Israel, but you know, is not mentioned in Revelation. So we're gonna see what happened with that in the kingdom. But let's read on. Verse 7, and Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, with great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali. Okay, Naphtali, which means my wrestling. So those are the Chileans and Argentinians today, man. You see, of the tribes of one of the tribes of Israel, but that forefather Naphtali, she was Salakia. That forefather Naphtali, he was conceived by Jacob and Bilhah, Rachel's maid, who became Jacob's concubine. And Bilhah and Zilpah, they were not on the same level as Rachel and Leah. You see? So our forefathers had many women. Abraham had, Sarah and Hagar. And even after that, Abraham, if I remember correctly, man, after Sarah passed, then Abraham also had, 6 more sons. But I don't remember with which woman. That's topic for for another day. Concerning the life of Abraham. But he had many women. Jacob had these 4 women. Leah, Rachel, Bilhah, and Zilpah. You see. King David had many women. Solomon had 1,000 women. So that's in our culture, man. That's in our nature as Israelite men to have many women, and they not gonna be on the same level. So we can have women of the other nations, but they just concubines. We just cannot marry them. And in this life, why would you even marry an Israelite woman? Like officially marry, go to the to the state. That's fucking bullshit, man. Now, if you have done it before you come into this truth, yeah, hey, if your wife is, pleased to dwell with you, depart not from her. The scriptures say. But the thing is, we can have women of the other nations as well, man. There are different statues of marriage, okay? Oh, praise Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Chakdash. Double honors to the elders and pastors of Great Millstone. Shalom. And hey, before I close out, I got the inspiration to this from Elder Apostle Taha's video. When he was, I believe the name of the video was, I have bigger fishes to fry. This is turning into a hot mess concerning the alligator thing, and also with the Syriac of ISUPK. And he mentioned that that's the topic for you, the different marital statutes, the different statues. There are different statues of marriage, okay? Wife and a concubine, you see? So that's where I got the inspiration for this lesson. All praise to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Chakdash. Double honors to the elders and pastors of Great Millstone. So on to the next one. Shalom. Shalom to the hopeful elect.